Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into something maybe a bit less talked about than its counterpart. We spent a lot of time exploring the fear of failure. But what about the fear of success? It sounds, well, paradoxical, doesn't it? Fearing the very thing we say we want.
It really does.
So the big question for our deep dive today is this. What if holding back what feels like maybe laziness or lack of motivation? What if it's actually rooted in a deep, perhaps unconscious fear of what happens if we achieve our goals?
That's a powerful question. And I think this fear, it tends to fly under the radar. It disguises itself.
How so?
Well, think about procrastination. We usually label it poor time management, maybe a lack of discipline, but sometimes it's acting like a subconscious break.
A break to stop us from succeeding.
Exactly. Or consider extreme perfectionism. On the surface, it looks like high standards. But if nothing is ever perfect enough to release, you never actually complete the task. You never face the potential success.
So it guarantees you stay in the trying phase, not the achieved phase.
Precisely. And then there's that nagging imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, even when you have objective evidence of your competence. Or creative blocks. These can all be symptoms, ways this underlying anxiety about success manifests itself.
It's like a hidden narrative telling you, don't go there. It's safer not to fully try.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because success, fundamentally, it demands change, personal growth.
And change can be uncomfortable.
Very. Success might mean letting go of parts of your life that are familiar, even comfortable routines, or sometimes relationships that don't fit the new reality.
Your brains tend to like familiar, don't they? Even a familiar discomfort.
Absolutely. The comfort zone, even if it's not particularly satisfying, it's known. Stepping out even towards something better can feel genuinely unsettling, almost threatening on a subconscious level.
And you see this reflected in behavior.
Oh, definitely. Things like waiting until the last minute so you have an excuse if the outcome isn't great. Or filling your time with busy work, tasks that feel productive but don't move the needle on the big goals.
That sounds very familiar, almost like self-sabotage.
It can certainly look like that, or getting stuck in analysis paralysis, overthinking everything so you never actually have to act. You might talk about the goal, but there isn't that full 100% commitment behind it.
So it's less about organizing your calendar and more about understanding your mindset.
Fundamentally, yes. It's often an internal resistance to the potential shifts success might bring.
It's interesting because so much personal development focuses on bouncing back from failure, building resilience.
Right. We talk a lot about picking yourself up after a fall.
But we don't talk nearly as much about the emotional weight, the responsibility maybe that comes with actually succeeding.
That's a crucial distinction. Success isn't just sunshine and rainbows. It can bring challenges. Suddenly there are higher expectations, perhaps from yourself, perhaps from others.
More pressure.
Definitely more pressure. You might lose some privacy. Success can unfortunately attract envy or misunderstanding from people who don't quite get your journey.
It could even lead to feeling isolated, maybe?
It can. And there's a new fear that arises. The fear of losing what you've gained. Once you have success, you have something tangible to potentially lose.
So, in a strange way, failure can almost feel safer, psychologically.
Counterintuitive, but yes. Failure might confirm existing negative beliefs you hold about yourself. See, I knew I couldn't do it. It's painful, but it fits a known narrative.
Whereas success.
Success disrupts that narrative. It challenges those old beliefs. It forces you to update your self-concept to become someone capable of handling this new reality, these new achievements. It demands a kind of psychological adjustment.
There's another layer here too, isn't there? Something about success intersecting with guilt, even survival instinct.
Yes, particularly for individuals perhaps from backgrounds with significant hardship or maybe marginalized communities. Achieving a level of success that significantly separates you from your origins can trigger really complex feelings. Guilt is a big one.
Guilt over leaving people behind or being different.
Both, potentially. Subconscious questions bubble up. Do I still belong here? Am I betraying my roots by becoming this successful person? Can I handle feeling like an outsider in my own community or even my family?
Wow, that's heavy stuff.
It is. And these feelings can be so powerful that people might unconsciously sabotage themselves. They might downplay their abilities, minimize their wins, essentially keep themselves small to maintain that sense of connection and belonging.
So the goal shifts subconsciously from achieving the outward success to maintaining the inward sense of belonging.
Exactly. It becomes less about the achievement itself and more about this primal need for social safety, for connection. The internal logic might be, if success means I'll be alone or cast out, maybe it's not worth it.
That really highlights how deep this can run. But is there another way to look at success? Can it be reframed?
I believe so. Instead of seeing success purely as an individual climb, potentially isolating you at the top, what if we see it as an opportunity for collective uplift?
Collective uplift, meaning
Meaning your personal growth, your achievements, they don't have to separate you. They can actually serve as inspiration. They can show others what's possible, perhaps encourage them to pursue their own growth.
so shifting the fear of being different into maybe recognizing the power in collective advancement. Like, if I can do this, maybe it opens doors for others too.
Exactly. It becomes less about standing out and more about lighting the way or expanding the realm of possibility for the group. Success, seen this way, can have a positive ripple effect. It extends beyond you.
That's a much more empowering frame. Let's talk brain science for a moment. How does something like neuroplasticity fit into this fear?
Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself. It's key here. When we consistently visualize a desired future and critically take actions aligned with that vision, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with it. We literally build the brain for that future.
Okay, so visualization and action rewire the brain towards the goal.
Yes, but here's the flip side related to fear of success. If your subconscious mind has linked success with negative outcomes, maybe danger learned from past experiences, maybe the threat of abandonment, maybe overwhelming pressure.
Then the brain resists building those pathways.
Precisely. It will actively try to avoid strengthening those neural connections because they lead towards something perceived, deep down, as unsafe or undesirable. The brain prioritizes perceived safety, even if that safety means staying stuck.
That makes me wonder, could this fear of success actually be like an old program running, a survival mechanism from a past version of ourselves, maybe childhood, that just isn't relevant anymore?
That's a profound question to ask oneself. Is this fear protecting me from a current danger, or is it an echo of the past? Is it outdated internal software?
And if it is outdated software, how do we consciously update it? How do we overcome this?
Well, there are strategies. One powerful exercise is journaling. But maybe not just about the fear of success. Journal about the real, tangible negative consequences of not achieving your potential over time. What's the cost of holding back 5, 10 years down the line?
Focusing on the pain of staying the same rather than the fear of changing.
Exactly. It can flip the motivation. Another key is combining visualization of success, not just with the achievement itself, but with feelings of safety and imagining strong support systems around you in that success.
So rewiring the association, success, safe, and supported.
Yes, and creating what you might call success rituals. Small, consistent actions that replace old self-sabotaging patterns with habits that reinforce well-being and capability, especially when you do achieve milestones. Acknowledge the win, integrate it healthily.
That sounds practical. What about the environment?
Crucial. Surrounding yourself with people who genuinely celebrate growth, yours and their own, and who encourage authenticity, not playing small. People who aren't threatened by your light.
And maybe changing the internal questions we ask ourselves.
Absolutely. Instead of constantly running the what if I fail scenario, consciously practice asking, okay, what if this actually works out spectacularly? What's the best case scenario? And how can I prepare myself to handle that reality?
Shifting focus from preventing failure to preparing for success.
It changes the entire mental landscape.
So wrapping this up, it seems the core idea is that when we find ourselves holding back, not giving our all, it might not be a character flaw, not laziness or lack of discipline.
It might actually be a form of self-protection, deeply rooted in this fear of what success might bring or what it might cost.
And recognizing that the world actually benefits from the full, authentic version of ourselves, not the version playing small.
Absolutely. We're arguably meant to push boundaries, to redefine what's possible, not just for ourselves, but maybe as an example and inspiration for others too.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. The next time you feel that hesitation, that resistance to really putting yourself out there, take a moment, ask yourself, is this genuine tiredness, or is it perhaps a subtle fear of what might happen if you truly succeed?
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Deep Thoughts Podcast. I hope you found insights and inspiration to take with you on your journey of self-growth. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on new releases and exclusive content. See you next time, where we'll continue to help you grow and explore your full potential.